we will talk about how Tesla had met Edison. Everybody seemed to know that there is a rivalry between these two giants in the field of electricity, but their first meet was actually not too bad. Nikola Tesla worked for Thomas Edison's Paris company for about 2 years, from late 1882. In just a short time, his remarkable engineering skills set him apart, and he impressed his boss greatly. The boss saw him as an outstanding young engineer and suggested that he should go to New York and work with the master himself at Menlo Park. Tesla accepted the suggestion. Tesla's departure from Europe and arrival in the New World featured further dramas. When he arrived at the Paris railroad station, he discovered that his suitcase was gone with all of his money and tickets. With the train pulling out in great billows of steam, the frantic Tesla decided to go anyway and ran down the platform and scrambled on. The steamboat company allowed him to board at the last minute only if no one else claimed his seat. Tesla said, "I managed to embark for New York with the remnants of my belongings, some poems and articles I had written, and a package of calculations relating to solutions of an unsolvable integral, and my flying machine. Quite a fortune, right?" Tesla arrived at the port of New York on June 6, 1884. At the time, New York City and America as a whole was booming at a breathtaking pace. Every day, ships brought thousands of immigrants to America's shores, each hoping to build a brighter future. To Tesla, America was the land of golden promise, a place where ambition could become reality, even though he arrived there penniless. While walking down the street, he noticed a foreman standing over a broken electric motor outside a workshop, clearly frustrated and unsure what to do. Tesla stepped inside and offered to help. After examining the machine, he quickly diagnosed the problem and soon had the motor running again. The foreman was greatly impressed and immediately offered him a job, but Tesla declined, explaining that he had already accepted the position elsewhere. We know that elsewhere was with Thomas Edison. The grateful shop owner rewarded him with $20, which was a remarkably generous sum at a time when average labor earned about $1 a day. It was Tesla's first taste of the riches of the New World. Tesla blended easily with the well-dressed, fashionable crowds on Fifth Avenue. His education and years in Europe, especially in Paris, had given him a certain polish, elegance, and confidence. The day he walked into Edison's headquarters at 65 Fifth Avenue, Tesla was impeccably dressed and meticulously groomed, while Thomas Edison bustled about in a shabby Prince Albert coat, a cigar clamped between his teeth, looking more like a tireless mechanic than one of America's most celebrated inventors. But apparently, Edison left Tesla a great impression. Later, Tesla recalled, "The meeting with Edison was a remarkable event in my life. I was amazed at this wonderful man who, without early advantages and scientific training, had accomplished so much. I had studied a dozen languages, delved in literature and art, and had spent my best years in libraries reading all sorts of stuff that fell into my hands, from Newton's Principia to novels of Paul de Kock, and felt that most of my life had been squandered. But it did not take long before I recognized that it was the best thing I could have done. To be fair, Edison was not quite unkempt in appearance now that he was a New Yorker. Even so, he remained utterly practical, plain-spoken, world-famous, and possessed a mischievous sense of humor. At age 37, he was already a seasoned entrepreneur and inventor who had navigated the competitive worlds of business and industry on both sides of the Atlantic. The first day they met, Edison found himself face to face with Nikola Tesla, an unknown young man who was tall, slender, and formal in both dress and manner. Nearly a decade younger than Edison, Tesla spoke with a heavy accent and carried himself with a dreamy air that made him seem almost out of place in Edison's bustling world. Edison quickly named him our Parisian. Tesla was fond of that nickname, and he later recalled that he was thrilled to the marrow by meeting Edison, who began my American education right then and there. The two men seemed to form an immediate rapport, each recognizing something remarkable in the other from their very first encounter. Could we call that admiration at the first sight, or something even better? That day, at the end of their conversation, Tesla expressed that he wanted his shoes shined, something he considered to be below his dignity. But Edison said, "You will shine the shoes yourself and like it." Tesla later remembered the encounter warmly. "Edison impressed me tremendously. I shined my shoes, and I liked it."